All right, good day, hi and welcome. Wow, 6 o'clock, 11:30 in the morning. Okay, yeah. Had the punchline in the back. What? Very quick day. I did. I covered the septic system, and it took them 5 tries to get that thing emptied. By law here, you have to have your septic emptied every 2 years, I think it is. The first time the gate was locked. The second time, something broke. The next time they had the wrong hose, and then another time the truck was too full, they couldn't take it all. And then they finally got it done. So I checked it, and yeah, it was empty. So it's like, oh, they'll be happy to know that. So I had to cover the two holes. So only took about half an hour, so it's going to be an extremely short day. But technically, I worked today. Tomorrow probably won't be as too long of a day, but either. But if I can get 3 or 4 hours tomorrow, that's not so bad. And then Wednesday, I'm going to use my chainsaw. Chainsaws. Now, one of my long-time subscribers commented, didn't you have something like 6 chainsaws at the beginning of the season? I had 3. 2. Last year I had 3. But 6 chainsaws? No, there's 13, 14, 15. There's like 18 chainsaws there at the house. But there's only about 4 of them working. 2 are my dad's, 2 are mine. Well, 3 are, well, 1 I gave to my brother, so was mine. So old friend I just gave to my brother, so there's 5 working chainsaws there. They are in order of, well, no particular order. My dad bought the Husky 235 from me, which I gave it to him, but he insisted that he'd pay me. So this bird, I nearly killed this bird. I nearly killed you. Don't do it again. Look what he does. Look what he does. Look what he's doing. Look what he's doing. He's literally trying to shit on my vehicle. He was at my windshield. He's waiting for vehicles to shit on. I kid you not, guys, I nearly smoked that bird. Look what he's doing. Look what he's doing. That's crazy. Ooh, better stop. That's sort of a stop. Look what that bird's doing. He was literally, his tail feather touched I'm sure it touched the wiper coming in. So he was trying to shit on my vehicle. You bastard. Anyway, I can't believe a bird tried to do that to me. What kind of bird are you? Psycho bird. Like, he was waiting for me to come back. He was in the same spot too. Anyway, so yeah, so my dad got the Husky 235, and then his John Cert died, which he had for years and years and years. So he ended up getting the Pro Yama. What's the model? I forget the model. It's something. It's 60 or 65 cc's, whatever it is. But it's got like the power of maybe like a 50 cc saw. So it'll do the job, but it's just like it's like a $300 saw, not quite. It's a good saw. It does the job, but you know, whatever. So he has those 2 saws. Then there's old friend, which I just gave to my brother. That's the Echo CS3900, which has a very dead bar and chain on it, but runs great. And then I just got the 162 and the 400 on Friday. It's now Monday. But my 2 still MS 260 and 270, those, they run, but they don't stay running. They bog out. And I may try to get them going again, but they're at that point where, what did it cost to rebuild them? would be more than half the price of one new, the 261 new. And yeah, that's fine if you have like 8 saws, 5 saws, whatever it is, and you got all your ranges covered, and then you got another saw that you want to tinker on with a project. Okay, then yeah, sure, why not? You know, but when you got to rely on it for work, you know, you can't. It's like the guy with the hot rod saws. They always bring a backup saw. Yeah, you use the hot rod saw until you break it. Everybody I know that's hot rodded their saws, it's the same thing. Oh, it runs great, it runs great, it runs great, but they have to fix it like 25 times on the job, right? So I just, you know, like, I'm not saying I'll never have a hot rodded saw. I probably will at some point just for the shits and giggles of it. But it's not something that I'm looking to do because, you know, when I'm on the job, I can't mess around, right? I gotta get the job done, that kind of thing. So that, yeah, I do have lots of saws, but they're all old, beat up. And I'm looking forward to working these 2 new saws. And I definitely will be working them this week, probably next week too. I probably got another 3 weeks of work with the chainsaws, minimum. Because as people find out you have chainsaws, they tend to give you a call, right? So it's like, yeah, it's like that. It's like that. So yeah, so you're correct. There is lots of saws around my place, but oh, Mini Beast. How could I forget Mini Beast? He still runs, but he keeps throwing his trigger. So the rod in between the trigger and the carburetor keeps disconnecting. You know, like sometimes it'll hold up for a job, and then other times it, like the last job, it came apart twice. And like I say, people don't like looking out the window and seeing a guy working on his chainsaw when they're paying him by the hour or whatever, right? So you have to have reliable equipment. And the little saws, like I say, they pay themselves really quick. You know, like 1, 2, maybe 3 days, you know. The bigger saws, okay, might take a little longer. But is what it is. I read the manuals last night on my 2 saws. I always like to skim through them. And there's some good information there, especially for first-time saw buyers, on like a few ways to cut a tree and stuff like that, and a few safety tips and stuff like that. Good idea to go through it if you're new at it, for sure. Even if you're experienced at it, it's good to read. But the function of the saw, because this is a partially electronic saw, right? So the 400 anyway. And I want to make sure that I don't screw it up. There's a way to calibrate it. It's kind of a weird thing you have to do, but like, you don't mess around with a carburetor. It's not fuel injection. It's electronic carburetor is the best way to kind of, which sounds like a fuel injection, but it's not. It's the actual carburetor, but all the adjustments are done electronically rather than sitting there trying to adjust the screws and stuff like that. So a little more complicated in its engineering, but easier to calibrate because the saw does it itself. It's just there's a procedure to it, which at some point I'll probably end up showing you guys. I've seen a few people show how to do it. Basically what you do is you put it on the little triangle, and which I guess technically would be what you'd call the choke, and you basically run it for 30 seconds, then you run it full throttle for 30 seconds, then you shut it off and you start it and you run it, let it idle again for 30 seconds. And that apparently calibrates your saw for altitude or just whatever, you know, seasonal or whatever. Anyway, yeah, so looking forward to showing you guys that stuff too. So anyway, there we go. I'm gonna call it a day after a half an hour's work. There we go.